Hey guys, what's up? This is B coming from Gen A today. So I got a new handgun. I picked up the Canik TP9SFX. See right there with 20 round mag. So this is the Blackout model. There's 1,000 unboxings of this. So I'm just going to quickly go through here and just talk about a few of the new things that's on here. I got the Blackout model. I probably prefer the look of the tungsten one that has the gray, accents and gray slide, but just wasn't available now. I've been looking at this for probably a year now and finally decided to get it. So Blackout was available. I would have gotten the white out for sure if they would have had those. Okay, so nothing new here really except just a couple things, but you get the slide, the place for the different optics, the back strap, get your 220 round mags, 18 rounds with the +2 base plate on there. And then you get this stuff in here that's, if you've seen this 100 times, the mag extensions and the charging handle and all those different pieces there. Okay, so, and real quick, we are clear here. Okay, so it does come with this this magazine. Everybody talked about how bad these holsters are, and I'm not a competitor, and I have a few holsters, but it's not like I've used dozens or hundreds of different holsters. So I don't know, for what I'm doing with this thing, this is going to work for me for now. It does have a retention screw here where you can tighten this up. I guess I could tighten it up a little bit, but it's pretty much as tight as it can be. But it does have a little bit of jiggle with that. So, I guess that is one thing that it could be. And the way this is, obviously, is to do it outside the waistband. And I guess you could take these clips, put them on the, flip them over to this side and then actually carry this inside the waistband. Although I will probably never do that. There would be no reason for me to ever want to carry this big, huge thing. But some people do carry this big, and this holster would allow for that. So on this one, you get outside and inside the waistband. All right, so this is the Blackout model. And then, so obviously the slide is black. The trigger blade safety here is black instead of tungsten. And then the base plates here are actually black also. And they do not say +2 like the gray tungsten ones do. So that's the only difference between the Blackout, is just the color differences there, which I'm good with this. I mean, I like the black for sure. But like I said, the tungsten would have been cool, and especially if I could have got a whiteout model, that would have been even cooler. So I went out to the range today, and I actually, and it's in the drawer in the other part of the house, but I have the Freedom trigger. I have the Fat Daddy trigger that I'm probably going to put on here. I got the gray one with the little red blade safety. And then I also have some Glock 17 Gen 3, but with the Gen 4 adapter, recoil spring, and guide rod to lessen this. But, okay, so here's the ammo that I shot today, and this also actually. So I shot some ZQI, which, this is the old stuff that was sold at Walmart, and this is NATO spec stuff, 123 grain. On this one, I don't know what this one shows, whoops. I don't know. Anyways, this ZQI stuff, people always talked about how hot it is, and so I definitely wanted to use this to get this thing going. I don't remember how many rounds of this. I probably shot about 50 rounds maybe of this ZQI. Sorry, spilled all my, I just put all the casings I picked up off the ground in there. And then I shot like 18 rounds. That's all I had left in this box right here. And this is just standard 115 grain Winchester white box stuff. And then this Perfecto, which is actually Fiocchi, just standard 115 grain. And I shot this entire box. So I shot 50 rounds of this, 18 rounds of this, and then probably about 50 or so rounds, maybe a little bit more. I can't remember. I go back because I've got it all on video. But so I have about 120, 130 rounds. Some of it was NATO spec 124. Some of it was, American spec, whatever, 115 grain. And it had 0 bobbles. So it didn't matter which ammo I used. It just ran perfectly with all of that. Okay, on the ejection, it had pretty good ejection. It threw them. I mean, and they were in a cluster. There's probably 85% of the shells, just clustered up in, probably about a 10 or 12 inch just diameter. And that was probably about 5 feet or so from where I was shooting at, 5 or 6 feet. So it wasn't just barely dribbling them out. It was tossing them out pretty good. Not crazy, but it was definitely getting them out far enough that it was, not causing any problems. Like I said, again, in that 130 rounds, whatever, 0 issues. It just ran through every single round perfectly. Okay, and one more thing that that I wanted to mention here is, and I don't know how long they've been doing this, but on the original TP9SFXs, which I guess it's been out about 3 years or so now, maybe a little bit longer, I can't remember. But whenever they first came out, the striker was actually a MIM part, and now it's actually a machine part, and you can see the tooling marks right there on this firing pin, which this is all one piece right here. And so that was one thing that people were having problems with also, is with this being a MIM part, that the very end of the striker here was actually breaking off, and they were having to get a replacement from Century on that. So they've upgraded that, and I don't know how long they've been putting this on. It may have been a year, I don't know. But anyways, just on mine, it definitely has the better firing pin striker here. With the recoil spring, this is just the factory recoil spring. Again, I got an aftermarket that I didn't try today, but this worked just fine. It was kicking them 5-6 feet. The recoil did feel a little bit stout, so I may try that other to lighten that up a little bit, although it was fine. So several upgrades to where this was originally. All right, so I went ahead and just ran and grabbed it. So there's the Freedom trigger that I got, and then here's that Glock 17 Gen 3 with the Gen 4 adapter thing and the different recoil springs. I got a different safety plunger spring and a striker spring. I did start off with the Vortex Venom mounted on it. Shot that did good. I had to readjust it just a little bit. And then at the end, for about the last 20 or 30 rounds, I did put the Warren Tactical sight back on just to try that out. So my range that I go to, which I love the place, the guy who owns it is awesome. Just an awesome place to go. I really do like it. He kind of reset up his pistol shooting place, and he had all of his steel painted up real nice and neat. So I didn't want to go out there and pling all of that. So I just shot at 2 targets that were farther off and are not in as good a shape. And I would have spray painted them. I looked for some spray paint, couldn't find it. But anyways, so I was shooting out to those far targets that are, or whatever, but they were about 35 yards. I stepped it off, and they're about 35 yards away. So that's all the shooting that I did today, was out to those two steel plates. Okay, and I also used a little charging handle thing, but I didn't use it exclusively. What I did is kind of wrap my hand all the way around like this, and just use it to help grab onto this side, just to try it and see what it was like. And especially since that Venom was in the way, it's kind of hard to grab onto the slide. So that just kind of helped to really get good and be able to run the slide real easy with that on.
Okay, it's going to be the very first rounds through the Canik TP9SFX, and I've got this crudely sighted in, so we'll take it slow here and see what we got. Okay, we're way